a down payment on a Pearl drum set. That was the first kit I ever bought. It was an 8-piece, 5 toms, double bass, and a snare drum. And that was my first drum kit that I just cut. That's the one I went crazy on, man.
A rite of passage for any drummer that, for Tommy, opened the gateway to now being able to devote that much more of his free time to drumming. He beams 40 years later, reflecting back at the moment as one.
Shit, you never forget those moments, man. You sit there and you clean the thing every day. And, it's like, that doesn't happen now, but you know that, Drew. It's like getting a brand new car. It's like, oh my God. I just sit there and look at it sometimes,
Hearing by the sheer natural power his son hit the drums with that he needed a bigger space to practice in, the drummer jokes the move was also designed to get his set out of the house, as Lee remembers his father once again stepping up and sacrificing to support his son's musical development.
My father, he also, and this is really awesome, coming from a mechanic whose garage was, that's his man cave. And for him to give up a portion, like he split the garage like down the middle, he gave up half of his garage and built me a room inside of the garage, like a soundproof room inside the garage. So for the guy to do that, and he'd be cool with me, he didn't really want to hear it all day and night. So I think that was one of the inspirations. But for him to give up his space like that, he just knew it meant the world to me.
Alongside playing live with other musicians, Tommy developed himself as a player by drumming along to his favorite Led Zeppelin records, courtesy of a vinyl collection full of other influences that included, alongside Tommy Aldridge, drummers like Carmine Appice and Peter Criss. It's a method of practice Lee recommends to date as one that's invaluable for any drummer coming up in any era, so much so that he rates it as
totally essential, man. I can't even tell you how much time I spent just with headphones on, just wailing to my favorite stuff. I mean, you can sit there and take lessons all day long and get technically schooled, but, there's something really different about playing along and, emulating some of your favorite stuff. How do I explain that, man? I've learned most of the things I've learned from playing drums, to recording, to producing, to computer programming, you name it, all this. I've learned more by listening, watching, and doing than by any sort of technical lessons or instruction. I see something, I learn it, because I just jump on it and do it. So yeah, that's really, man, I would highly recommend that for any young drummers. Grab on some headphones and just play your favorite stuff.
Lee got just as high voltage a charge out of playing in front of crowds and soon made his debut as a showman in the Backyard Valley party scene, where his father once again helped make his son's show an even bigger attraction when...
This is the craziest shit, man. He built me a drum riser, and he also... This was for my cover band. This was a band called US 101. Yeah, he built pyro, some pyrotechnics, and he built a small drum riser and also lighting. This is the craziest shit, man. He was a mechanic. He could build or tear apart, put back together just about anything. So he got busy one day in the garage, and I'll never forget sitting in the backyard lighting off these concussion bombs, puffs of smoke, and the neighbors going, "What the hell's going on over there?" So amazing. What a guy.
Bouncing off the walls with the same energy as Styx did off the kit. As the drummer turned 16, eager to set his sights on the bright lights of the Sunset Strip club scene, Tommy Lee's Sweet 19 soon took to the streets of Hollywood, unaware that within a year he would be keeping the beat for a new generation of metal fans his very age, as the 1980s prepared to explode. Motley Crue would soon come calling, catapulting Tommy's flashy, ferocious drum style onto MTV and making him a household name for his 18th birthday when Too Fast for Love dropped in November of 1981. With kids soon covering his band's song at the same backyard high school parties he'd himself been playing only a couple years earlier, early Crue classics like Livewire, PCR Action, and the album's title track would soon bring Tommy to a crossroads of finishing high school or signing a once-in-a-lifetime major label deal with Elektra Records at 17 years old. Not surprisingly, the latter choice proved an easy one for Lee, with his parents 100% in his corner. Proving to be one himself behind the kit as the band dropped Livewire, the single that launched Motley Crue on radio and video, would debut with what became a signature of Lee's playing, the drummer's dazzling double bass action, where he remembers channeling rhythmic muses like
Tommy Aldridge, another double bass drummer that was influential for me, was also Alex Van Halen. That was one of those times you never forget that shit when something comes on the radio. Like, I just remember hearing Eruption and going, what the fuck?
To keep listening to this audiobook for free, click the link in the description. It will take you to a free Audible trial where you can listen to this and many other books for free for 30 days.